Hey, Shalom. Double honors to the apostles of GMS. Honor to you brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, man. Alright? Yeah, and man, hey, the Lord's beautiful, alright? The Lord's got some things out there, man, that are not so present to the eye, alright? That are not that are so not so easy to find. But when you come into this knowledge, the Most High always inspires new ideas, like the scripture says. All right, he's gonna turn your belly as living waters, man. Right, so you're gonna, hey, like the Elder Gabar broke down, man. You're gonna be constantly finding new ideas and new ways of pursuing how the Most High is gonna destroy the society, man. And what you're seeing here is an example of that. And you know what, man? It ain't even the Most High is gonna be destroying this society, right? The statement that you read there, all right. The statement that you read there shows you that America is destroyed, man. All right. It shows you that America is destroyed. Now, I'm gonna read it, all right, and he's gonna get to the numbers at some point. And when you see the numbers, and when we break down the numbers and what the numbers mean for the everyday person, man, you see, you see really the vast majority of the people in America are in a state of poverty, man. All right, they're in a state of poverty. They're in a state of deprivation. Okay, all right. And it's damn funny. You got all of these Edomites walking around with pride and all of that, man. But the figures don't. The figures don't speak like that, man. Worse yet, the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans of our own community, they call us the bumites. All right, they call us the bum camp. But look, hey, what is Nate's men outside that? Are they the 49%? Are they the 49% that are in that greater than $30,000 per year, man? All right, are they in that category? Because the numbers, hey, like they say, man, the numbers don't lie, man. The numbers don't lie, man. So here's the thing, right? The vast majority of the American people are walking lofty and proud, but it's for no goddamn good reason. All right. The vast majority of you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans that buck up against this truth, talking about we're some bumites, right? You're a goddamn hypocrite. You're a liar, all right, and you're a fool, man. All right, because the so-called white man's got you feeling like you got something, like you have something, right? That you got something you could believe in, namely these cars, this money and jewelry. But the numbers, like I said, man, the numbers don't lie, man. You're in a state of poverty, man. You're in a state of poverty, man. Or you're in a state of deprivation, man. And the Most High, man, is gonna make that deprivation manifest when this economic thing blows up, man. Like they've been predicting this thing to go down for the longest, man. And they're saying it's this year, man. And you know what? Bring it the fuck on, man. All right, bring it the fuck on, man. All right, we've been catching hell, man. All right, all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. We've been pushing this work, man. All right, and we're getting to the time when the Most High is gonna test our face, man. Hey, I can only pray Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. I'm worthy in that time, because you got a lot of other assholes out here talking about they're this strong and that and this, that, and third. All right, because they got some chump change from Esau. You can see it's chump change because they're telling you right there, man. All right, so you're doing a little bit better than the bumites, like you call us. All right, so you feel some type of elevated, and really you ain't in the spirit. If you're coming in the cross, you come in the vibration of you ain't you ain't never been no weak Jew or some craziness like that, man. All right. So you don't know what the Most High is gonna do in the day of trouble, and you can see it, man. That statement alone says goodbye middle class. All right, 51% of all American workers make less than $30,000 a year, man. So hey, man, that statement says it all alone. Now it sounds all right. $30,000 sounds all right, but you, man, right? So on $30,000, you're gonna get a 200,000 pound house, which is ain't really shit. All right, on a mortgage of about $400 or $500 a month. All right, then you're gonna pay the car. You're gonna pay the tax on the house. You're gonna pay a water and all of that, man. All right, hey, they break it down here. Let me read this, man, and I'll mention certain things off the top of my head. All right, that information that I've been to in the past, because really to break a thing like, man, with a document like this, man, with the information that's gonna bring out here, man, you can touch into all kind of different information, man. For instance, what's the cost of living? All right, because if this is for the whole of the United States, man. All right, but the whole the state of poverty and deprivation in the United States, doesn't work like you're seeing there, man. Right? It's not all the same in one look in all over the locations, man. It varies from location to location, meaning there's people that are in even pretty much there's people out there, all right, in certain parts of America that are living worse than certain areas in the so-called third world, man. All right, they're living worse than that. You know what's worse about this? About living in America like that, man? You can't go out. There's certain, if you're living in them like you're seeing here, man. Right? If you're living in them high-rise buildings, where you gonna get pick off the land from, man? Where you gonna get food off the land, man? Right? So you're in a third world country out there somewhere in India or Africa or something like that, man. And they say you're poor, but you ain't really poor. You got goats and you got land and so on and so forth, man. Right? You can do what's known as subsistence farming, man. Which is what they was all up into in the ancient days. They didn't deal with Federal Reserve notes, man. All right, but it's this same Federal Reserve notes that gets you people so goddamn proud to the end that the Most High is going to destroy you, man. All right, and I say, hey, man, bring it on, man. Bring it on, man. All right. So it says we've just got more evidence that the middle class in America is dying. Now, I think I did a video in the previous part in the past talking about the middle class, and we know about pretty much any economic structure, right? Without a middle class or without a thriving middle class is doomed. All right, it's doomed. Okay, because the middle class, right, is pretty much that's the heart of the economy. That's the people that do the buying, right? That's the people that do the building, the manufacturing, and so on and so forth. So you got the elites, right, and the poor people, which constitute really a small, a really an insignificant portion, right, of the vast majority. Really, the vast majority of the people fit into that middle class. So if the middle class is not thriving, you can forget about the elites, because if the middle class falls, what the elites gonna get rich off of? The elites pretty much just constitute the people that are bosses to the middle class. All right, so you have 1,000 employees and you have one boss, man. All right, or maybe a couple of maybe five directors working and directing working and directing thousands of people that constitute the middle class, man. Right? Well, that's a little over a few, and below that middle class, you're gonna get the few pure people that can't get that job. That class is poor, man. All right, so without that middle class, that's what the middle class is, right? You got the poor that don't have work, right? You got the people that have work in construction, manufacturing, right, and bringing forth products and services, and really services ain't, really they ain't really commerce. All right, goods and services within the middle class, and you got the people that control how those goods and services are distributed, which constitute the elites, man. All right, without that middle class doesn't mean it's in the middle. Middle class is the vast majority of the people, man. Without that middle class getting, man, you're doomed, man. All right, you're fucked. All right, so it says 51% of all workers in the United States make less than 30,000 a year. All right, so it says and that sounds like a good figure, but when it gets down to this bit here, man, you're gonna see, man. All right, so it says 51% of all workers in the United States make less than 30,000 a year. It says, let that number sink in for a moment. It says you can't support a middle class family in America just today on $2.5 grand a year, especially after taxes are taken out. So that's 30 grand. All right. I don't know what the tax is out there in America. All right, but the tax out here, man, is at 20%. So let's assume it's the same thing. So you're gonna take what's that a half? 15 grand makes 50%, and you have it again, you have 25%, which is 7.5 grand. So we're talking about within the region of about 7 grand. All right, so you take 7 grand away from 30 grand, you go 23 grand left. All right, you break down 23 grand over 12 months, round it up to 24 grand, you got 2 grand a month. All right, so that's the more accurate figure, not 2,500. It's more like 2,000 a month. It's especially after taxes are taken out. It says yet more than half of all workers in America make less than that each year. It says in order to have a thriving middle class, you have to have an economy that produces a lot of middle class jobs, and simply that's not happening today in America. And that's a bullshit ass statement that the person put there, man. All right, really, this person is not learned. I don't even like how they put that statement together, because it says in order to have a thriving middle class, really, you want to say in order to have a thriving economy, all right, you have to have a thriving middle class. That's the statement that should be inserted in there. All right, so he says in order to have a thriving, so I'll translate. In order to have a thriving economy, you must have a thriving middle class, right? And it doesn't say, and that's another bullshit statement there. And that says, and have an economy that produces lots of middle class jobs. No, you need an economy that produces a lot of goods that people are gonna buy. Hence, those middle class jobs are created. And that's the thing in America. The only thing that you don't manufacture, which I think is about 80 to 90% of all of the commerce, right, and the manufacturing that's happening in America is military, man. That's why Obama, all right, the asshole that he is, the faggot that he is, always has to perpetuate more and more wars, man. Notwithstanding, the Most High is using him and the elites and so on and so forth to create all of that craziness out there, and so that the Most High, like it says in Joel the 3rd chapter, right, to call them out into the valley of Jehoshaphat, the valley of decision, so the Most High can act decisively against these heathens, man. Right, in that their judgment is gonna come upon them like a whirlwind, man. So it's gonna be damn beautiful, man. Hey, man. Hey, man. If you've been pushing this word, man, you only got good things to look forward to, man. If you're of the elect, all right. Because you know, hey, that's another whole lesson for another day, man. Okay, so it says, so you have to have a manufacturing. That's why you had a good strong economy during the time of Motown and all of that, because you had Motown, right? Where they had the motor industry. That's why they called it Motown. And you had the manufacturing and so on and so forth, and everything just sprouted out of that, man. Right? People, bars, and drinking and music and all of that, man. That just spewed out of that, man. All right, but you don't have that in America right now, because the only thing they produce is war, man, and things and instruments of war. You can't sell a service, man. All right, you can't really sell it. I mean, you can sell a service, but that's not really that's a small percentage of the people that are in the middle class, man. All right, let me get on with this, man. It says you can't find the report that Social Security Administration has just released right here. The following are some numbers that really stood out for me. Okay, now this is where it gets fucking interesting. All right, this is where it gets hella interesting. Okay, so it says just going back onto this, right? So if taxes at 30 if taxes at 20%, 10% will be 3,000, and you double it, makes 6,000. So Salakia, I tried to do it in my head the other way, but I just done it in my head the other way now. But it says 38% of all American workers made less than 20,000 last year. That's 38 fucking percent. 38%. Right? That's 4 people out of every 10 people in America right now. 4 people out of 10 people in America made 20,000 last year. That's peanuts. All right? That's not even peanuts, man. That's poverty, man. All right? You break the numbers down. You're gonna take $4,000 out of that for 20% tax. So you live on 16 grand in 1 year, man. Right? You divide 16 grand into 12, round it down to let's say 10. All right? Let's say 10 months. All right? Round it down. Right? 16. So that's 1,600. But you know it's gonna be less than that because I've taken 2 months out of that. So you live on 1,000, round about 1,400 a month. You're gonna pay rent, so that's $500, $600. I don't know what the rates are out there. All right, so now you're 800. Gotta factor in food, right? That's 400. Right, now you're down to 500. Gotta pay the car, 200. That's 300 now. Right? Oh, you gotta pay other bills, man. Am I forgetting other bills and other taxes you gotta pay there? Road tax and so on and so forth from the car, and water bills, electric bill, light bills, all of that, man. Right? That's poverty. All right? That is poverty, man. All right? It says 51% of all America's workers made less than 30,000 last year. All right? That's already said. But what's even more fucking interesting is these two statements out here. The next statement. So I reckon, since they call us the bum camp, So Nate's people must be in this bracket here, right? They must be in the 38%, all right, or better yet, all right, the 29%, all right, because they're calling us the bomb camp, but really 50,000, that's nothing, man. 50,000 is nothing, man. Think about it. You're grown man. You got a car. You got a house. All right. You got to pay. You got to pay for that stuff. Then you just run. It's not one-time payments. You got to pay for that persistent. All right. The car needs oil, gas, right? Insurance. So that's a hell of a lot of money gone. All right. The house needs electricity, water, gas and heating. All right. Maintenance. Now, because you got a big ass house, you got big bills you got to pay every now and then to maintain the house. You can't live in a big house and it's just gonna be always all right, man. All right, the boiler might break down. All right, the piping underneath the floor might break down. That's like 2, 3, 4 grand you gotta deal with when pipes burst underneath the ground. Because the guy is gonna come in there, he's gonna make up some bullshit number, man. All right. Oh, but that's just you living in the big house. That's just you living in the big house. So what you gonna do? You're gonna get a woman. A woman's gonna cost you a certain amount. Even if she's got a good job, she's gonna cost you a certain amount, man. Because she's gonna have certain expectations, especially in this day and age, man. Hey, if you want a woman that's gonna take care of you, you gotta get an older woman. But that's that's just an inside joke. All right. All right. But the point is, man, you got a woman. All right. You're gonna get children. Hey, you're broke again. All right. So 40,000 really ain't all that much, man. It isn't, man. Let's just be real about it. And it says 71%, right? 7 people out of every 10 people that you see in America makes less than 50 fucking grand. That's nothing, man. That's nothing. When you really break down the numbers, it's nothing. It ain't nothing. We're in this thing, man. We ain't gonna make no 50 grand a year, man. All right. But if you make, I've seen people that make 50 grand. Remember, 50 grand is, I believe 50 grand is a different tax bracket any goddamn way. All right. So you really want to be in that 40, just under 40 grand, right? So you can stay out of that 40. I think it's a 40% tax bracket. I know in England it's about 40,000. It's a 40% tax bracket, all right? But I forget the rules and how they differ or year on year. But you're still gonna give the tax man his 20%, man, right? So you're on 50K, right? You're gonna give the tax man his cut. So that's you're back down to 40. Right, cars, houses, all of that shit that you are so proud of. You're back to eating ramen noodles, man. All right, so man, prosperity in America, the American dream is turning into an American nightmare, man. All right, let me just hit a few more points. I'm gonna close it out, man. I don't want to long this out too much. All right, so it says that first number is truly staggering, and you know what? It is truly staggering. It says the federal poverty level of a family of 5, the poverty level of a family of 5 is 28,000, right? Yet almost 40% of all American workers do not even bring in 20,000 a year, right? So a family of 4, right? Their class is being in poverty if they're bringing in 20,000 a year. Now you can argue, that they could be part of a house that has 2 people and so on and so forth, but that's neither here nor there, man. You can see this kingdom's getting destroyed. You can see the numbers, man. All right. It says, and yet almost 40% of all American workers do not even bring in 20,000 a year. It says if you worked a full-time job at $10 an hour, last year with 2 weeks off, you would 2 weeks off, fucking hell, bro. With 2 weeks off, right? You would make approximately 20,000. Right? It says, and this should tell you something about the quality of the jobs and the economy that is producing at this point. It says, and of course the numbers above are only for those that are actually working. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, bro. I even factor that in, man. I even factor that in. I skimmed through this article early on, but I didn't factor the fact that I didn't think that the first time I read this through. I probably just skimmed over it, man. All right. These numbers constitute the people that are working. Right. You can only imagine what it's going to be like for the people that are not working. Because you're going to, for 38%, right? So you're going to compete. If it's 38% of 20,000, you have to compete for that 20,000, man. You have to. Because what happens in an economy like that, man, where they can afford to pay people 20,000, that means the economy is going backwards. That means they got a lot of people that are willing to earn that 20,000. Right? See, if you have a thriving economy, right, people are not going to be willing to make 20,000 a year, so they're going to be looking for other jobs. So naturally, the people that are offering 20,000 a year are going to have to bump their monies up, man. So that statement also refers to how much people are not in work. Okay, all right. So man, pretty much with that, like I said, I don't want to long this out. You can see the information for yourself. All right, you can read this out at end of the American Dream. All right, you can catch that. You can catch this article right there. And man, this thing is, hey, this thing is showing itself to be true, man. This truth is showing itself to be on point, man. By way of the revelations that the Most High is bringing out by way of the elders, right, and the information that these alternative medias is bringing upon them. Like the scripture says, they're gonna make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, man. It's beautiful, man. So with that, I'm gonna say double honors to the apostles of GMS, honest you brothers that been pushing this truth in sincerity. Shalom.